All right. So now it's time to start with the part 3 of the Mughal Empire. Now we have already covered Babur, Humayun, Sher Shah Suri and Akbar in part 1. In part 2 we did Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb and the later Mughals. And in part 3 in your book there are these case studies which has the topics like land revenue policy, relationship with the Rajputs, Mansabdari, Akbar's religious policy, Mughal court, and then, of course, we'll be dealing with the questions from the book. So, let's start. Now, first is the land revenue policy. Now, there are few little things that you need to learn because you are only in grade 7. So, I don't think very difficult questions will be coming, but I'll still I will try to explain it to you. Now, one is the land revenue system. What do you mean by land revenue system? See, the land revenue system means that because at that time the most important source of income was the land revenue, that is the revenue or the money that the Mughal ruler would get from the land. That means the farmers had to pay some taxes. So Akbar, with the help of his revenue expert Raja Todarmal, designed various land revenue systems. Now, in your book, you will talk about two important systems. One is Deshala, the other is the जब्ती सिस्टम. सो आपकी बुक में यही दो नाम आते हैं, दहशाला और जब्ती. अब दहशाला क्या है? दहशाला, दह जो है that is 10-year settlement. That means the land revenue was settled for 10 years. कि 10 years के लिए आपने ये पे करना है. But then how will you decide that you are paying this? So it was on the basis of the average produce as well as the average prices over the last 10 years, and that it was decided that for 10 years you have to pay this much. So that was called as your dehshala. The other system that has been written in your book is the zabti system. Now zabti system was much more scientific because here the land had to be assessed, the land had to be measured, the land had to be assessed, that how fertile is the land, and the revenue was based on the fertility of the land. Now, the province had fixed revenue rates for individual crops, and the revenue was 1/3 of the produce. एंड पेजेंट को बच्चे चॉइस देते थे, चाहे तो आप कैश में दे दो विच मीन्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, या फिर आपने जो फसल ग्रो करी है उसका 1/3 हिस्सा आप काइंड में भी दे सकते हो. लेकिन मुगल्स जो थे बड़े अच्छे थे इन वे दैट अगर उनके कोई ड्राउट आते थे या फ्लड्स आते थे, रिमिशन मतलब दे वुड रिमिट, वो माफ़ कर देते थे लैंड रेवेन्यू, राइट, इन ऐसे एक्सट्रीम केसेस में. एंड पेजेंट्स वर ऑल्सो गिवन लोन्स टू बाय सीड्स, implements and the animals. So this is all about the revenue system of Akbar, which was devised by Raja Todarmal. One is Dehshala, which is 10-year settlement. Zabti, which was more scientific. It was based on the fertility of the land, proper measurement of the land, but it was 1/3, and peasants were given the choice to pay in cash or kind. Right, now we will talk about the Mughals' relationship with the Rajputs, especially the Akbar. Now, Akbar was a very far-sighted ruler who understood that by winning over Rajputs, he can get the support of the most powerful section of the North India, that is the Rajputs. So what did he do? Number one, he established matrimonial alliances with the Rajputs. So he married the daughters of the ruler of Ambar and Jodhpur. Now Ambar is the present day Jaipur. Then number two, what did he do? He gave complete religious freedom to his Hindu wives. Number three, that Raja Bhagwan Das, Raja Man Singh of Ambar, they were Hindus, they were Rajputs, but they were given high ranks in the court. He also allowed them to rule over their kingdoms or their watan. So this was Akbar's relationship with the Rajput. One, he married the daughters of the rulers of Ambar and Jodhpur. He gave his wife complete religious freedom, and the Rajputs were given high ranks. Raja Bhagwan Das and Man Singh of Ambar were given high ranks, and he also allowed them to rule over their kingdoms or their watans. Then is the Mansabdari system. Now, Mansabdari is the most confusing system, and you feel that what is it? See, Mansabdari is like a present civil services system. Now, civil services में क्या होता है कि जो आपका रैंक है, जो आपकी पोजीशन है, उस अकॉर्डिंगली आपको प्रिविलेजेस मिलते हैं. अगर आप एक तहसीलदार हो, अगर आप एक डीसी हो, आप एक एसडीएम हो, आपके उस अकॉर्डिंगली आपका जो रैंक है, आपकी उस अकॉर्डिंगली आपको आपकी प्रिविलेजेस मिलेगी. सो यहाँ भी ऐसा था. सो द वर्ड मनसब जो है दैट इज ऑफ द अरबिक ओरिजिन. इट मीन्स अ रैंक और अ पोजिशन. सो मनसबदारी was a system of ranking the government officials and determine their civil and the military duties along with their remuneration. Now, Jat means their rank or a position. Swar means that according to their rank or position, how many horses are they entitled to keep. Right now, these Mansabdar, they came from different group. Some of them were Iranis, Turanis, Mughals, Afghans, and even Rajputs. So Mansabdari system was nothing but it was a system by which Akbar organized his government officials according to rank, and whatever their rank was, that is the amount of horses they were allowed to keep. Number 2 बच्चे, ये जो मनसबदार है इनकी ड्यूटीज क्या थी? इनकी ड्यूटीज मिलिट्री भी हो सकती थी और सिविल भी हो सकती थी. Right? The next is his religious policy. ये आपको बार बार क्वेश्चन आता भी है. So ये क्या है? See, number 1, we will note the word harmony. That Akbar tried to establish harmony in his empire by following the policy of religious freedom. Number 1, taxes. देखो उसने जो है जजिया भी abolish कर दिया, pilgrimage tax भी abolish कर दिया. दूसरा, he gave religious freedom. Right? उसमें क्या है? He stopped the practice of forcible conversion of prisoners of the war into Islam. He gave his Hindu wives complete religious freedom. He got Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana and Bible translated in Persian. He also celebrated festivals like Deepavali, Basant Panchami, and he founded a new religion called as Din-e-Ilahi. Now, इसके अलावा जो है बच्चे, दैट मीन्स उसके रिलीजियस पॉलिसी में पहले टैक्सेस आ गया, दैट ही अबॉलिश्ड जजिया एंड पिलग्रिमेज टैक्स. दूसरा आ गया, ही गेव रिलीजियस फ्रीडम टू हिंदू वाइव्स. उन्होंने जो है बहुत सारी हिंदू किताबें पर्शियन में ट्रांसलेट की, बहुत सारे हिंदू फेस्टिवल्स भी सेलिब्रेट करते थे, और एक प्रैक्टिस थी कि जो भी प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर है ज़बरदस्ती उसको इस्लाम में कन्वर्ट करते थे. ही ऑल्सो स्टॉप दिस प्रैक्टिस. एंड लास्टली, ही फाउंडेड अ न्यू रिलीजन, दिन-e-Ilahi. Now, Akbar also believed in the principle of Suhe Kill. So, what was this policy? Now, this policy was the principle of peace given by Akbar. He said, a true ruler is like a father toward his subject. So उसका मेन ड्यूटी क्या है रूलर की? टू मेंटेन पीस एंड हार्मनी. एंड देन द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रिलीजियस टॉलरेंस सेट अप बाय अकबर was also followed by his successor. Now this is his principle of the peace. That is, as a ruler, he is like a father to his subjects. It is his duty to maintain law and order, peace and harmony, and the principle of religious tolerance. Right? Now something about his दिन-e-Ilahi. आपके बुक में आता है इबादतनामा. सो आपको लगता है पता नहीं इबादतनामा क्या चीज़ है, एंड वो कहते हैं कि यहाँ पर सारे स्कॉलर्स को बुलाया. सो दिस इज़ हाउ द इबादतनामा लुक्ड, एंड दिस इज़ हाउ अकबर वुड मीट ऑल दी स्कॉलर्स. सो इबादतनामा और द हॉल ऑफ प्रेयर वॉज बिल्ट एट फतेहपुर सीकरी एट आगरा. यहाँ पर जो है ही वेलकम द स्कॉलर्स ऑफ ऑल रिलीजन. यू कैन जस्ट सी हाउ पीपल हैव ऑल सिटिंग नियर हिम. Now Akbar, while listening to all these people, he founded a new religion. और ये न्यू रिलीजन में क्या था? सब रिलीजन के गुड पॉइंट्स, एंड ही गेव दिस नेम एज दिन-e-Ilahi. Right? Now, then is about the Mughal court. Now, you said that Mughal court was very grand. There was a lot of beautiful things. Now, this picture is of the peacock throne. Now this is how you can see at the back how there were curtains and how, what kind of the woodwork is done and how beautifully carved these places are. Now look at the place where the emperor is sitting, right? These are the qazis, वो कैसे अपना जो है पूरी डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि क्या आज काम करना है, राइट? जैसे आपके पेरेंट्स ऑफिस में जाते हैं, दे टॉक अबाउट व्हाट टू डू इन देयर रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफिसेज, तो ऐसे मुगल कोर्ट में जो है ये बैठे हैं मुगल एम्परर, और इनके सामने जो है ऑर्डर्स कुछ पढ़े जा रहे हैं, कुछ ही वुड ऑर्डर एंड ये लिखे जाते थे, राइट? सो यहाँ आप देख पाओगे बच्चे कि कितने खूबसूरत तरीके से जो है ये सारा कुछ अगर आप कार्पेट्स की बात करो, ये सारा जो इंट्रिकेट ब्यूटिफुल कोट की बात करो, सो मुगल कोट्स वर वेरी वेरी ब्यूटिफुल, ग्लैमरस, राइट? सो कहते हैं कि यहाँ पर जो है जब ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ने यहाँ पर कुछ लोगों को भेजा, अपने एम्बेसडर्स को कंसेशंस लेने के लिए, एंड दे वर कैप्टन विलियम हॉकिंस एंड सर थॉमस रो. सो आपके बुक में लिखा है, बहुत खूबसूरत लिखा हुआ है कि कैसे they were awestruck by the court that they saw, and so much so बच्चे lot of books were written on what they saw the Mughal court was. और यहाँ पर उस टाइम पे बड़े सारे फॉरेन ट्रैवलर्स आए, मिशनरीज आई, मर्चेंट्स आई, who visited India in the 16th, 17th and even 18th century, and they have left a detailed account of the reign of Shah Jahan. Like Bernier, he wrote Travels in the Mughal Empire. Travanier, he wrote Travels in India. And Manucci was an Italian traveler. He wrote Storia do Mongol. That is, he's written the stories on the Mughal court. So this is about the great Mughal court. Now, the last part is your important terms. Of course, we'll talk about the book questions as well. Now, one is the book illustration. See, book illustration is when you have books where there are pictures attached to it. Now, this type of concept was actually started by the Mughals. Then is the Buland Darwaza. Now this was a special gate built by Akbar at Fatehpur Sikri after his Gujarat victory. That means he was victorious at Gujarat. Then he built a special gate at Fatehpur Sikri. Then is your artillery. There are heavy guns used in the war. Dehshala, a 10-year land settlement. Mausoleum, a building or a monument which is erected at the place where the dead are buried. So जैसे आपका हिमायूं का टूम है, ताजमहल है, कि आपके डेड के जो buried के ऊपर आप बहुत बड़ी monument और building बनाते हो, right? Then is mortar means the material used in building to strengthen the construction, and this was used by the Turks. Now, Mansab means a position or rank in the Mughal administration. Mansabdari, the holder of that Mansab or rank. Then is Panch Mahal. Panch Mahal was a beautifully designed 5-story building at Fatehpur Sikri. Now Petra Dwara. Petra Dwara was a technique in which if you ever visited Golden Temple, you can just see that there are these white marbles and how they have been inscribed. They have tried to fill the colors of the various motifs that they have made. Right? Now, Avdi was a dialect of the Hindi language, and it was spoken in the eastern UP. Right? Rabab, very important question, sometimes asked, that name the musical instrument brought by Turks in India, and that is rababs. Right? Now these are, I just thought that let me revise with you the revision flow chart. So one is Babur, we did that. Babur founded the Mughal rule after defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat in 1526. Then he defeated Rana Sanga in the Battle of Kanwaha in 1528. In the Battle of Ghagar in 1529, Babur defeated the Afghans, and in 1530 he died. Then is Himayu. Himayu के बच्चे दो टाइम पीरियड है 1530 to 40, फिर 1555 से 56. So Himayu ascended the throne after Babur, and Himayu had to face defeat from Sher Shah Suri. He was an Afghan chief of Bihar. Now Himayu was defeated by Sher Shah Suri at the Battle of Jausa 1539 and Battle of Kannauj 1540. In 1545, Sher Shah died in the siege of Kalinjar. कहते हैं कि एक जो gunpowder जो है just got exploded and he got killed. That is in 1545 in the siege of Kalinjar. Then Humayun established the Mughal Empire in 1555 by recapturing Delhi and Agra, but Humayun died in 1556. Then is Akbar. Akbar was only 14 years old when he assumed the Mughal throne, but under the regentship of Behram Khan. Akbar's forces, under the command of Behram Khan, defeated the Afghan forces by Hemu. That is, the second battle of Panipat is in 1556 between Akbar and Hemu. Right? Then you have the next one. I think then you have this time span. I think I've forgotten the other one. Okay, I'll just speak like that. You also have another chapter where they've talked about the other rulers. See, you've already done till Akbar. Now, of course, we'll be doing after this. After Akbar, I told you it was Jahangir, it was Shah Jahan. So I think maybe I missed that chapter. So I'll just speak with you. Now, in terms of Akbar, we'll say that Akbar followed the policy of matrimonial alliance with Rajput, religious tolerance, right? And it was Akbar who brought the stability to the Mughal rule in India. Akbar ने बच्चे बंगाल भी कैप्चर किया, बिहार भी किया, उड़ीसा भी किया, गुजरात भी किया, फिर कश्मीर भी किया, काबुल, कंधार, अहमदनगर भी है. Right? He died in 1605 and now it is जहांगीर. देखो जहांगीर के टाइम पे एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात और है. देखो जहांगीर के टाइम पर मैंने आपको बोला था कि पहली बार यूरोपियन ट्रेडर्स आए. जहांगीर के रेन में नूर जहां भी है, और जहांगीर जो है ही वॉज ऑल्सो नोन फॉर हिज चेन ऑफ जस्टिस. राइट? ही परमिटेड द पोर्चुगीज एंड द इंग्लिश टू ट्रेड इन इंडिया. देन कम्स योर शाहजहां. देखो शाहजहां के बारे में मैंने मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आपको कहा था कि एक तो उनके टाइम पे बहुत सारी बिल्डिंग्स, मैसिव मॉन्यूमेंट्स बनाए गए. राइट? फिर उन्होंने डेक्कन में अहमदनगर और गोलकुंडा को कैप्चर भी किया, और उन्होंने बुंडखा लैंड के चीफतान जो है राजा जुझार सिंह, उनको डिफीट भी किया था. एंड देन कम्स योर लास्ट, दैट इज औरंगजेब. नाउ औरंगजेब जो है बच्चे उसने तकरीबन सारा ही हिंदुस्तान अपने कंट्रोल में कर लिया था, but some things made him unpopular. That is his aggressive military campaigns, his being too much attached to his religion. Right? So many scholars suggest that the very decline of Mughal Empire had begun during the reign of Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb died in 1707. The Mughal administration was very well organized, the land revenue was not so high, people were safe, and trade flourished during his time. Now this is what you see a timeline. So it is Babur, and then comes your Humayun. Right, Babur, Humayun, Shah Jahan, and then there is Akbar, Jahangir, there's Babur, Humayun, Sher Shah Suri, then Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, right? And after Aurangzeb, the Mughals that we have, we call them as the later Mughals. Very quickly, Mughal Empire was founded by Babur in 1526 when he defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat. Then Humayun's tomb was made by his wife. Akbar Nama was written by Abul Fazl. The second battle of Panipat was in 1556. Always remember, there's one battle, the first battle, that is 26, and the other battle is 1556, right? क्विकली मैं आपको फिर से रिवाइज करा देती हूँ. 26 वाली बैटल दैट वाज बिटवीन इब्राहिम लोदी एंड बाबर. 56 वाली बैटल वाज बिटवीन हेमू एंड अकबर. Right? Then the tax which the non-Muslims had to pay is jizya. Then the hall of prayer was called as the Ibadatnama. Peace to all was his Sule-e-Kul. A system of revenue collection is your Zabti system. A military brotherhood that is what they have talked as the Khalsa. The military brotherhood is Khalsa that was given by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Right? Then Babur defeated the heroic Rajput ruler Rana Sanga in the battle of Chausa. No, he defeated in the battle of Kanwaha. Right? In 1540, Sher Shah, an Afghan, overthrew Humayun and founded the Sood dynasty. Absolutely correct. Now, Akbar was succeeded by his son Jahangir, popularly known as Salim. That is also true. Akbar tried to combine the good points and he founded his religion Deen-e-Ilahi. Very, very true. Now, very quickly, what is the meaning of Mansab? We have talked about that. And Mughals were the descendants of which clan? That is, they were the descendants of the Central Asian part, and Timur from the father's side and Genghis Khan from the mother's side. Now, who were defeated at Chanderi in 1528? The Rajputs. Now, if you just let me just let me write this one for you. Now, 1526, the Battle of Panipat. Then 1527 is the Battle of Kanwaha. 1528 is the Battle of Chanderi. Right, so this is it, and these two battles were with the Rajputs. That is, first one is Rana Sanga, the other battle is the Battle of Chanderi, again with Rajputs. Now, who built the Grand Trunk Road? That is Sher Shah Suri. I told you, from Bengal, Sunargaon till your Peshawar in Pakistan. Right, now explain Babur's new mode of warfare. Of course, these questions have been done in your notebook by your teacher, but just a quick revision that it is everything is from your book. That, kind of artillery he gave more importance to. Then we did about Pata. Then the 9 gems that have been written in your book, do learn about them. Right, so then is the significance aspect of the Jahangir's reign. I told you, bache, number 1, he was known for the chain of justice. Then he permitted the Portuguese and the English to trade in India. His wife Noor Jahan assisted him in ruling the kingdom. Right, so these are the questions that you have done, and I'm sure you'll be able to do them once you read your notebook, once you read the book and you go back to my slides. So that is all I have for you, bete. In case you have any problem, any problem in learning any concept, please write to me. I'm sure if I'll be able to help you, shortly I'll make a video on all the queries that you have. Thank you so much, Bacho, and I am eagerly waiting for your comments. Thank you, and have a great day today.